What's up, guys and gals? It's the Tyrant here. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different and just give you a general site update on some of the things that are going on and just bring you all to the loop. For my Discord folks over there, my Patreon donors, most of the stuff you already know. I just wanted to use today's video to bring it into more context and also to share it with the rest of the community. So, some of you recently have noticed that I stopped posting Q&As. Up until recently, they were something that I posted every week. First, they were posted every Saturday, then I moved them to Friday, and then started doing the Exploring Halo series as well. And I haven't been posting them recently, as you've noticed. I did pin a comment to the most recent Q&A pretty much explaining why. For those of you who didn't read it, though, I'm going to go ahead and explain it in this video. And essentially, what it comes down to is this. I really did enjoy doing the Q&As, as I felt like it served as a way to better connect with you, the community, which I really enjoyed. However, over the last few months of the Q&A, I noticed that, not as many people attended the Q&A, not as many people were asking questions. A lot of the questions started getting repetitive, and we had a lot of the same folks, which there's nothing wrong with that. I was always happy to see, return question askers. But I will say that I felt like after 75 straight weeks of doing Q&As that my audience was starting to get fatigued by them, and I was as well. The Q&As became the most complex video that I had to do every week because I had to look at different comment sections. I had to, check my Twitter feed and go through my timeline and everything and pick out a set of questions that I thought would be great discussion questions. And then of those, pick one that I thought would be a great star question of the week, which was always in the title of the video. And again, it's something that I enjoyed, but it took a lot of time to do and was the most complex video for me to put together every week. In choosing these questions and actually doing the video itself, but it wasn't getting the same views, so I thought it was really only benefiting a small part of the community, and I wanted to focus on content that I thought you would enjoy more, that it could be something for everyone. And so the last Q&A I thought ended on a really high note. We talked about Halo multiplayer and what your favorite maps were, and I thought it would be a good place to at least put the Q&As on a hiatus. And I don't know, that doesn't mean I'm canceling them forever. I just don't have any plans in the near future to do any more of those anytime soon. But it left things on such a positive note, and I just kind of wanted to keep it that way. 75 straight weeks of doing those things is a lot of weeks. That's a lot of Q&As. And so I thought, you know what? Let's put things on hold here, and it's something maybe we can revisit sometime down the road. So it's not that I didn't like doing the Q&As, and I still think, there was at least a portion of the community that still enjoy them as well, but I want to work harder at delivering you better content that I think that you will enjoy more. So that's why you haven't seen Q&As recently. The next thing I wanted to touch on is you may have also noticed in recent weeks I stopped posting a link to my Patreon. And for those of you who don't know, that's basically a way for people to donate to the site who want to make a contribution to the community. And so we've been doing Patreon for a little over a year now, and we never did manage to reach our goal. But when I started doing Patreon, it was because YouTube is something I wanted to do as a career. Over the last year, I've noticed that while statistics for the site have overall been better, it's still not heading in a direction that I think could ultimately turn into a career. I could be wrong there, it might, but it's not improving fast enough. Like when you look at other YouTubers out there like Hidden Xperia or Actman, and they just keep soaring and doing well. And Actman is actually probably one of the few folks I know who started with the Halo community, but then was able to migrate out of that and start working on other topics. But because we love Actman's material so much, all the stuff that he talks about, even if it isn't Halo, was still enjoyable. And that's a mold that I've had trouble actually breaking. I've tried some ideas here and there. Some work, some don't, some last, some didn't. And so, right now, what I see here is because Halo seems the only thing to consistently work for the site, I don't see myself being able to sort of break that mold quite as easily. And so I don't know if this is something that's really going to turn into a career. This is a conversation I've had with my family, and it's now one I want to have with you. I enjoy it, but it's something that I feel like there are other opportunities out there that I should be looking at, and just sort of downgrading my channel from being a career to back to being a hobby, which is why I'm sort of canceling Patreon. It made sense to have donations when I thought this was going to be a career choice, and I could see that as being an investment. But now that it's being a hobby and I'm not going to be taking it as seriously, I don't want people donating to the site anymore. For those who have been donating, you have my immense thanks and appreciation, because you are a very small group of individuals who really took that step, and I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me that my content means that much to you, so thank you. I know some of you were disappointed that I'm stopping Patreon, and again, if the site picks up sometime down the road, maybe it's something that I'll look into again and revisit, but for now, it doesn't feel like the thing to do. And so I'm as of October 1st, Patreon is no longer going to be a thing for this site. But a lot of the reason that you're probably watching this video is you saw the words Mythic Retirement in the title, and I want to explain that a little bit. So I'm not retiring Mythic Tyrant. I'm not stopping this channel. I'm really, as I said earlier, enjoying the Exploring Halo series. It's a new way to play Halo, and I've really enjoyed it. It seems like a lot of you do too, just kind of looking outside the norms of Halo and just seeing all the detail that they put into these games that for a lot of us goes unnoticed the first time we play through. When I'm talking about Mythic Retirement, I'm talking about Mythic difficulty. And for those of you who aren't aware of this, for those of you who don't know me through playing on Legendary All Skulls On, that's essentially where I got my start. Even though I started modding first, not many people actually know that. But I guess I sort of got my boost when I started doing Mythic difficulty. And I got to be honest with you, it's one of those things I'm not really feeling up to doing anymore. Let me give you a little bit of context here. So when I did the first Mythic walkthrough, which was for Halo 3, that was really supposed to be a one-time thing. I honestly wasn't expecting the amazing folks over there at halo.bungie.org to even greenlight it, much less expect Bungie to actually take notice of it and even give me recon for doing it. To me, that was absolutely amazing, and it felt very rewarding. I felt very appreciative and grateful, but I thought that was going to be it. And, so a year went by, and we had a lot of people join the community and wanted to offer their own tips, so we did a version 2.0 guide that included tips that everyone else wanted to contribute. And again, I thought that was going to be it. Understand that I thought Halo 3 was going to be the last Halo game. The tagline for the game is even finish the fight. And so I thought this would be my way of contributing to the Halo community. I had no idea that there was far more planned for the Halo community from there. When ODST came around, I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I'll do a guide for this, but we'll see. And ultimately, I did do one. It's basically, I will always look at Halo 3 ODST as part of Halo 3. It's a Halo 3 expansion. And so I wanted to do one for that too. My community, as always, has been very helpful in helping putting those guides together. And so, again, I thought that was going to be it. And then they announced Halo Reach. But this time they said that it was their swan song to the series. So right off the gate, I figured, okay, so Halo Reach is the definitive final Halo game. Okay, and that when I actually got invited to Bungie Studios after I did the ODST guide, I still wasn't sure whether or not I was going to do one for Reach, and they asked me this, or they basically said, we can't wait to see how you managed to do this with Halo Reach, because we've tweaked a lot of the things from the previous game, and so you're going to have to change up your tactics, and so we're interested to see how you managed to get around that. And so I did the guide for Halo Reach, honestly believing that that was going to be the last Halo game. And then, of course, Halo changed hands from Bungie to Microsoft, which in turn, Microsoft created 343 Industries. And then they announced Halo 4, and I thought, okay, so Halo Reach was not the last Halo game. There's going to be a Halo 4, and 343 was very friendly towards me. They invited me out there to Halo Fest, and I got to chat with them. And so I said, okay, well, we'll do Halo 4. And I did, and Halo 4 is an okay game. I think it's fine and all. I enjoyed it overall. But when it came to doing the written portion of the guide, this was really the first time I had a hard time really getting the words out. because it wasn't something I was planning to do. It was just, I felt like I was doing it to sort of, I guess, help migrate people from Bungie over to Microsoft, to sort of help ease the transition a little bit. And because I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do myself, part of me just wanted to stick with Bungie and just check out their new franchise and, you know, let Halo do its own thing if it were to continue. I had no real intention on going anywhere further with that. And so doing a Mythic guide for Halo 4 sort of came out of left field for me, so I did that. So I finished the guide. I did, you know, a legendary walkthrough for it as well. I did the laser challenge for it, and again, I thought that was going to be it. I thought Halo 4 had a very nice ending for Master Chief as well as Cortana. It was tragic, but it was very satisfying at the same time. And then the marketing campaign for Halo 5 started, and at this point I started having what I call fake out syndrome. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to sort of cite one of my favorite all-time movies, and that's Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. And it's a near perfect movie, but one of the few gripes that I have with it is all the fake out endings. I understand why there were so many, because it's an epic trilogy overall, and there's a lot of characters, and we need resolution for those characters. But there were so many fake outs. Like, first you see this fade out when they're on Mount Doom, then it's when all the characters reunite, you know, and it just goes on and on and on. And I remember seeing the movie in theaters with my dad for the first time, and my dad was just kind of like, okay, it's time to leave. And so we left the theater, and it wasn't until I bought it on DVD several years later that I actually found out what all those extra endings were. And that's what I kind of feel like Halo is at this point for me personally. I thought Halo 3 was going to be the last game that we're going to be finishing the fight. Then I thought it was going to be Halo Reach. Then I thought it was going to be Halo 4, and the franchise just keeps going. And so I feel like this is going to be taken the wrong way. So in case there's anyone from 343 watching, or people who think that I have an issue with them or with the new content in terms of Halo titles, it isn't that. It truly isn't. My opinions as far as all of the Halo games are concerned have been pretty consistent over the years. I haven't altered my tone or changed this game, or downgraded one or upgraded one or anything like that. They've stayed fairly consistent, and I stand by those. A lot of people don't agree with my opinions, and that's fine. Everyone has their own opinions, and that's why they're opinions, not facts. It has nothing to do with 343, but basically what it came down to for me is Halo is a phase. And I've gone through many of these over the course of my life. I had a phase with Super Mario Brothers, and that came and went. Eventually, I had a phase with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and that came and went. And then I had one with a franchise that a lot of you still enjoy to this day, which is Star Wars. And I was first introduced to that franchise when I was in elementary school, and sometime around late middle school, early high school, I stopped paying attention to it. It wasn't that they did anything that I didn't like. It was just that I moved on to other things. And with Halo, I feel like if they had stopped the franchise with Halo 3, probably within the next couple of years, I would have probably moved on to a different franchise as well. It's not that I would have lost complete interest in Halo or anything like that. It's just I would have found something new to focus on. And so this is kind of where it is now, where I feel like, you know, even though I enjoy the current content as well as the old, it's one of those things where my heart's just not in it anymore. When I looked at the numbers for the Mythic guide, and I didn't see 343 really paying much attention to it, despite giving the pep talk that they gave me last year. And, you know, even my own feelings towards the, you know, just doing these guides in general, it just doesn't seem to make sense to do them. Not a lot of people watched the guides. I'm currently working on the written portion of the guide for halo.bungie.org that's currently in production now. But once I'm done with that, I don't plan on doing another Mythic walkthrough. I know Halo Infinite is in the works. I don't know how that game's going to be. It could be the greatest Halo game of all time. It could just be mediocre. I don't know. We don't have a lot of real details about the game yet. I hope it's a great game, but right now I don't know what I plan on doing with it, if anything. I'm probably going to buy the game. But if there is a quote-unquote Mythic difficulty on there, if there's Legendary with all skulls on, it's not something I'm planning on doing a guide for at this point. Doing guides in general has been a lot more difficult this time around. Most of you know that when I do walkthroughs, usually I wrap it up within a year of the game's release. This time, we're now 3 years in, and I still haven't finished the written portion of a Mythic guide yet. I've done the Legendary guide. That took 2 years to do. But I didn't have the motivation to do it, just wasn't there. And so it came to me, it's not the thing of, I don't like these Halo games. It's not a thing of negative feelings towards 343 because I don't have any. It's just a thing of Halo has been great. I love Halo, but it's something that I'm steadily losing interest in. I love doing these exploration videos because it gives me a new way to play the game, and it gives me a new way to play, you know, the classic games, the games that I grew up with, the games that I love. But I guess I'm just sort of getting fatigued on Halo at this point. And recently I mentioned on Twitter that I was playing a video game for the first time for fun and not for video purposes for the first time in years. And that game, you know, some of you may not like this, but it's World of Warcraft. I've been a player in that game for 10 years now, and I've always been off and on with that one. You know, I'll play it for a little while, then I'll stop playing for a couple of years, and then I'll play it again for a little while. But I've had a lot of fun just sort of catching up with it because I haven't really played that game in quite some time, and it's fun to play something new with no real objective involved other than just to sit back and enjoy the game. And that's kind of what I want to do now. The reason why I, stopped the Q&A and stuff, aside from reasons that I told you, is when I said that I was downgrading from a full-time YouTube career to just bringing it back to a hobby, I do all these videos every week in one day, in a matter of hours. Now, that used to not be the case. I used to do them every day. The production time used to take a lot longer, but now I can do, with exploring Halo, I can do all these videos within just one day. And so I feel like that grants me other opportunities to spend more time with family, try to pursue a career that I think would be a better fit for me, and more beneficial, not just to me, but my family as well. And so that's what I like about doing this. I can still, do those exploration videos for Halo while focusing on other things and actually getting back to enjoying video games rather than feeling like I have to play them so that other people can be entertained by it. So again, I don't want you looking at this like, I have any issues with Halo or anything. It's just a phase that is now starting to phase out for me. And so it gives me a chance to move on, and then while still delivering good content to you that I hope at least you'll enjoy. Down the road, I plan on trying to try out other ideas and new projects, and when I'm ready to show you guys what these are, I'll let you know. I hope these are things that you're going to enjoy. I'll do my best to make them something that you will enjoy and something that you'll want to continue to stay subscribed to so that you can continue to watch the content. So when those new ideas are ready, I will certainly let you know. Again, I want to thank all of you for this because, again, I've been doing this Mythic difficulty thing for 10 years now, and 10 years is a long time to stick to one type of pop culture thing, in this case, a video game franchise. And again, it's something that I've enjoyed very much, and I'm ready. I still want to do content for it, but in terms of the guides, they take a long time to make, and even I'm getting burnt out by them at this point. So I appreciate everyone's support over the years. I still plan on making content, so this is not a retirement from the channel, just a retirement from future Halo walkthroughs. So again, I want to thank all of you for your support. I want to thank all of you for just, being here over the years and just being such an awesome community. Every one of you is an amazing human being, and thank you for being a part of my community. I hope that this update sort of brought you up to speed on things, and I hope it's something that everyone here understands, and I hope that you enjoy the content that I have coming down the line in the days to come and in the weeks to come and in the future. And so I hope this is something you all enjoy. I hope that you continue to enjoy it. And I hope that you aren't disappointed by the fact that I won't be covering Halo Infinite in the same way that I have these previous Halo titles. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you, not just for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this video, but for all the videos that you've watched. I really appreciate it. And I hope that if you did enjoy those videos, if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll consider subscribing for more great content right here on MythicTyrant.com. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching and listening. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll catch you all right back here next time. And as always, I'm the Tyrant, signing off.